Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. I thought to send this video to show you how to take accurate measurements for your outfit. Please ensure you watch it very well and ask me questions if they are any. If you don't take accurate measurements, your clothes won't size you the way it should. So perfectly fitted garments start from perfect measurements. So please ensure you take it the way I will show you. If there will be a need for it, I can also schedule a live video to see what you are doing, but please ensure you take the measurement correctly. So for shirts, either shirt or top for guys, you will need the following measurements. The first is the shoulder. You are measuring from the shoulder bone to the next shoulder bone. What is shoulder bone? Shoulder bone is if you trace your armpits, where your armpits joins the shoulder, something like that. So you will take this shoulder, this is my own shoulder, this shoulder, the bone of the shoulder, not too long, not too short. So trace your armpits where the armpits extend upward to the shoulder. Then you take your, please you can turn some. Okay. You will take the measurement from one shoulder bone, taking your tape above the back, not like this, not straight like this. Your tape must go above the back to the next shoulder bone. For this my clients, okay, please, I think I'm out of the camera. So from one shoulder bone, taking the tape up to the next shoulder bone. I believe it's capturing it now. So you record. Are we together? So please, this part is very important, like every other part. So from one shoulder bone, taking your tape above, not now above like this, no, just slightly above. You know, there's a way the neck has what they call this part, I think nape of neck or something like that. So you take it up to this part, then to the other shoulder bone. That's for shoulder. Then the person will turn to you and you measure the chest. So let me give you a tip. Measure it firmly. Accurate chest measurements, like there's no allowance. They add 4 to 5 inches to it. Guys' shirts are not always fitted like ladies. So please, even this one it will come out, you know, smack on the person. So what I said is measure the person's perfect shirts. This is the best way I can explain to you because you are not with me. So measure the perfect chest of the guy, wherever it is, then add 4 to 5 inches to it. So this is okay for this my client. What is wearing on him like this is about 4 inches addition to his natural chest measurement. So add between 4 and 5. If the person doesn't want it to be big, you can add 4, but comfortably 5. Did you get it? Please. So let me say it again. You measure the regular chest of the person, and please mind you, the tape must not sag at the back. Sagging means it's drawing downward, and it must not twist. So the tape must be, you know, lay flat at the back, and please sir. And you measure the person's chest around their nipple level. That's the chest, the widest part of the chest. So you now add 4 inches or 5 inches to it. So the addition is what you will send to me. So this person's chest measurement originally is 34. Adding 4 inches to it, I have 38. But for his size, I will add 5 so that it will be comfortable. It won't be big. Okay? So the next thing to measure is the hip. The hip. What is hip? The widest part of the buttocks. So you will tell your client to turn gently backwards so that I can show you what I'm about to do. I will need to back the camera, sir. So this is his hip. So you take the tape to the hip. So his natural hip is 36. You add 2 inches to it. Make it, guys' trousers should not be too firm, except the person wants it that way. But please, even if you want to make it firm, still add 1 inch for ease, so you can be able to move around the trouser. So this my client's natural hip is 36. But if I want to sew for him, the least I will use is 38. Are we together? So measure the hip, the regular hip, like the firm hip, then add 2 inches to it. Do you understand? Okay, because you might not understand, measure it loosely, measure it tightly. That's why I'm using that indicator of maybe 2 inches or 4 inches to explain to you. So you measure the hip this way. Don't forget the chest. You add 4 or 5 to the measurement. The hip, you're adding just 2 inches. All right, sir. So the next thing you measure is the top length. So the top length, this is the highest part of the shoulder. Sorry, it's my baby. This is the highest part of the shoulder, immediately after the neck. This is the highest part of the shoulder. This is where the shoulder starts from. So you put your tape on that part, on the middle line of the shoulder at the highest part. So this is the middle line of the shoulder, and this is the highest part. So I'll put the tape. So if it's his shirt, I will measure whichever length I want. If it is short top, I will measure the length I want. But for guys, there's a rule: their top or shirt must cover the loins area. It must be below the crotch level. Are we together? So measure either shirt, short top or long top. Longest top should be about maybe 2 or 3 inches before the knee, except you want to sew all those Senegal styles. So even if the top is long, it can be longer than a little bit before the knee. So for a long top, this is his knee. I'm going to be stopping at 33 for him. Did you understand? Okay, so the next thing to do is to measure the shoulder, the sleeves, beg your pardon. So exactly where we stopped the measurement of the shoulder earlier, where the armpits cross to the shoulder line, from there is where you will start measuring the sleeve length. This is the armpit area of this my client, and this was where I stopped the shoulder measurement earlier. So I will start the sleeve measurement right on here. Why? The sleeve joins the top at exactly where the shoulder ends, so you have to note where you stopped. So the sleeve, you measure this way. If it's a short sleeve, then you stop at the short sleeve length. If it's a 3/4 sleeve, you would, okay, let me explain what I did. Can we come closer to the camera? Are we still within the range? Okay, is it okay this way? All right, so if I want a short sleeve, I will measure it like so. If I want a 3/4 sleeve, you see this hollow part. This hollow part at your, is it elbow? Okay, this is elbow. This hollow part at the elbow, you will take the tape to that elbow hollow part, then you will use your other hand to hold it and continue your measurement. So if I want a 3/4 sleeve, I will measure this way. If I want a long sleeve, I will stop exactly where this, there's a wrist, you know, guys, top should not be so long like this, to cover their wristwatch, and it should be too short. Are we still in the camera range? All right, so you will stop exactly at the wrist level, this place. So his own sleeve length is 23. Do you understand? So there's what we call the sleeve length and the sleeve circumference. That is how wide the mouth of the sleeve will be. So for a short sleeve, if I want a short sleeve, don't forget I stop the length around here. I will now take the circumference. For guys' clothes, their own clothes should not be tight. You can never sew for a guy like this that the circumference will be so firm. It's not a lady. So for guys' clothes, and the best way I can explain this, okay, let's say you measure the firm measurement, which is 12, then add 2 inches to it. This is the minimum. Their hem, you can see what he's wearing. You can see this like 2 inches addition to his normal round sleeve measurement. So add 2 inches to it for ease. Then for 3/4, measure it firmly, add 2 inches to it. Are we together? The only one you are measuring accurate measurements is for long sleeve because of cufflinks. It must be firm at that cufflinks area. So for that one, this is the part. Are we seeing the camera range? This is the part you are measuring. This, you know, there's a the widest part of your hand when you fold your fingers together. So you measure it this way. Okay, let me come up. So whatever it gives you, you bring it together, sir. You fold it together. So you measure it this way. So his own is 9.5. Are we together? You cannot measure here, please. If you measure here, there's no how the clothes will fit. So this is where you measure. So his own is 9.5, and you will record exactly 9.5. You are not adding anything to this one. You will add 2 inches to the accurate measurement of the short sleeve. You will add 2 inches to the accurate measurement of the 3/4 sleeve. You will measure the widest part of the tightly closed finger, and you will not add anything to it. Did you get that, please? I believe so. You can ask me any question. Then the next thing to measure for guys' shirt or top is the neck. So you take your tape to the base of the neck. Are we still within the camera range? All right. You will take your tape to the base of the neck like so. Then you will measure. If I do this for this my client, it will choke him. So measure it and ask the client if the client is comfortable. This one, don't let me give you any formula. It's to the comfort of the client. But if I should guide you, I will tell you to measure it accurately, but at the same time not too tight. Then add maybe at most 0.75 inches to it. So this is my brother. I will make his neck 15.5. If I measure this collar, it will be 15.5. So if it is more than 15.5, it will be too big. So 15.5 is okay for you. You can see there's space. He is comfortable. Are you not comfortable? Or the person can be choked. Do you understand? So that's that for the top. Okay, let's complete the upper part. For the filler, everybody has the widest circumference of their head. Filler doesn't stop at this part. It comes a little bit forward. to the forehead. So you will take your tape to the widest part of the head, take it to the forehead and measure. So this man's filler, please, this thing is very dicey. If you don't take it correctly, the filler will not enter the head properly. It just sits like that, and if it's too big, it will sink into your head. So it has to be perfect. So this is how to know the perfect measurement. You would like the middle part of the head, if that's what to use. Are we still within the camera range, please? Can you move forward a bit so they can see? Are we still covered? All right. So the middle part of the head, you measure it round. We call round measurement circumference. So whatever you have, this brother's one is 22.5. You must be able to put one finger in between the tape so that it will not be making the person have a headache. There has to be one finger, like just one, your index finger. So put it in between. It must not be more than one index finger. And if your finger is big, use this last one. The essence is that it is not tight and it's not making the person uncomfortable, to avoid headache. So it has to be like this, comfortable this way. All right, so that's that about the top or shirt, whichever the case, and the filler. So for the trouser, please sir, you need to maybe tuck in your shirts, or just raise it up, whichever the case. So for the trouser, you will need to measure the waist, the length, the hip, the thigh, and the hem of the trouser. Do you understand? Okay, so this is it. You will ask the person where they put their trouser. So this is where this brother put his trouser. They can't be wearing belts. If the person is wearing a belt and you measure with the belt, you've added to the measurement. By the time I'm done sewing, the waist will not fit. So remove your belt, please, and measure above where your original pants that you are wearing currently stops. The waist stops. So this is it. For this brother, this pants his normal waist is 30. But like I said, for men's measurement, we don't use the exact waist. So you add at least 1.5 to it. Like this is, have you eaten, sir? All right, sir. So his waist, his firm waist is 30. Okay, but since he has eaten, I will add just 1. If you are with me, I know how to do the ease. But since you are measuring far away, that's why I'm using all this guideline to help you to get accurate measurement. So you add 1. Can you see? I can move the tape freely. Do you understand? You can't measure exact measurements. It won't size you. So please, after you take the exact measurement to the waist of the trouser, add 1 inch to it. Something is free and comfortable. Don't worry, by the time I'm done sewing, it will be so smart with this measurement. All right, so the next thing is to measure the length. From where the person puts his trouser, you will take the tape to the ankle. Like him, see I don't know, the camera is capturing where the trouser stops. All right, so let me just bend down and measure. Are we still within the camera range? All right, sir. So you are measuring everything by the side, not front. So take your tape from where the person normally puts the trouser and take it to the hem. His own length is 34. So measure and record. You are not adding anything to the length, please. When it comes to length, you record the exact length. All right, then you take the length from the same waist to the knee. Don't worry, it's not cumbersome. It's where I'm explaining. All right, so to the knee, his own knee is 18 inches, the middle of the knee. Are we together? So waist to leg, waist to knee. Then you measure his thigh. This is the thigh. You will take it to the crotch level. There must not be phone, no wallet, and no cash in your pocket, please. All those things will add to your measurement. So you will take the tape above like this, not like this. You don't measure thigh like this. Don't size the person. You will take the thigh as if you are taking it up this way. Let me use, okay, what example can I use? Is it clear? Are we close, or should we move closer? All right, so can you see the way I did? I take the tape to the highest it can go, then I measure. Do you understand? Do you understand? But for these measurements, you will make it firm and you will not add anything to it. So this brother, are you sure there's no money in your pocket? All right, this brother's measurement is 25. I take the tape to the, this part, then I brought it up and I measure 25. Then the knee also, you measure the circumference of the knee. Okay, I think I can guide you in this one. Let's say the firm knee is 14.5. Add 1.5 inches to it. Reason being that you must be able to bend your knee. Please bend forward if you are wearing trouser, because the material is not stretchy. So if it's too firm, you can't bend. So take the firm measurement and add 1.5 to it, something like this. Then the ankle, the same way. Please, can you turn your back to the camera? So when you want to measure the ankle, you will let the person step on the tape a little, then you take it upward and measure. But this time around, make it firm. It's not capturing it. Huh? Okay, you can go backwards now. Is it capturing it now? Alright. So for the ankle, the person will step slightly on the tape at the back of the leg this way. Then you will take the measurement like so. So this is his own measurement, 13. If you want pencil mouth, please leave it at 13. If you want the mouth to be loose a bit, add half inch to it. Don't make it more than half inch. So the essence is that the person can wear the trouser and remove the trouser with ease. So that's that about the trouser. Alright, the last thing for the trouser is the hip measurement. So this is how you take the hip measurement. You measure at the mid part of the hip this way. Are we together? This is 36. But if you saw this 36, it won't size the person. So you will add between I mentioned that you add 2 inches earlier when I was doing top. It's still the same thing actually. Add 2 inches to it. By the time I'm done sewing it, to be your size. So add 2 inches to the hip level. Any other thing? I think that's all. That's all for men's measurements. Either shirt or senator pants or pant trouser is the same measurement I'll be needing. If there's any other thing, I will communicate it to you. So thank you. I'm Temi, your favorite tailor, TCG Fashions. Thanks for your patronage. God bless you.